Hey, this is Roger from Roger's Hot Rod Garage. We've got the 20th of October, 2024. It's a Sunday here in Germany. And video number 3, 1, 2, 3, is going to be figuring out how to put a radio in my 1957 oval window bug, which is right here. But look, step on over here, and I'm going to show you what we're talking about. I'm going to keep it down to one topic today instead of jumping all over the place like I did in the last 50-minute video I just pushed out there. But look, today, I'm going to be putting this unit, which is obviously from RetroSound Manufacturing, and they're online. Just Google them and you can come to the website. This is a cool unit because this right here is kind of like the generic unit in the back. It's high powered, 25 watts by 4, so you don't actually have an amplifier to run this thing for it to make it sound good. But what's cool about this is they are so variable. You can mount these things this way, push this back, and it's pretty flexible or variable mounting capability in this radio. This right here is different on most of these, so you can then pick what kind of faceplate you want. Now this is the one that comes with a kit. You can tell it's plastic, and the rest of these things I scored over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 months because I know I'm going to make this thing fit into my 1957 oval window bug. Now this is the one I prefer. It looks really cool. It's a little bit too wide though, but I can still use it with a minor modification. This is the one that fits the best. I just like that Art Deco kind of look with that little streaking lines on here, but it's a little bit not wide enough. This one looks the best right here. I wish I could use it even with this stuff that's messed up on the corners right here. Problem with that one is this recessed or extruded mounting surface right here, because I can't use that right now. That means I have to use a big giant washer on the front, which I don't want to do. And then this one is probably just a throwaway. I picked it up at the Veteran, which is like a swap meet over here in Germany. So it's probably between these two right here. That's what I want to do. Now with the kit for the 57 bug, again, you go online, you order this stuff. This is what you're going to get. They got a couple of different models of this right here. This happens to be the one that does Bluetooth, MP3, and all that fine stuff. Also has USB input. It's got AUX out for amplifiers, but again, this right here is going in an old 57 bug, so I'm not worried about going around going boom, boom, and thump, thump type of music. This one right here is just going to be so I can listen to sound and listen to my navigation system going down the road. It also has cool things like, the antenna comes in right here. This is for hands-free if you want to put a mic on it and, have your hands-free phone calls come in. Anyway, this was what the plan is today with a little bit of fabrication. And I'm going to take this right here and mount it with one of these faces cleanly inside this absolutely gorgeous looking dash. Now, if you look at the last video how I mounted those Mac audio speakers, there's actually 2 of them behind here. You probably can't see them, so all you people who criticize me for hacking the dashboard, you can't even tell, so leave a comment. I'm not really that concerned about it, but I do listen to the comments. That's what that looks like from the back right here. So the actual opening for the stereo system or radio has already been hacked. That wasn't me. I'm just trying to clean it up and doing what I call to Roger's quality standard and control, okay? I've got everything wired and those speakers are ready to go right now. Again, the radio will be right below it. As you can see, I got the hood removed over here so I don't have to do the Nadia Comaneci Romania gymnast trick every time I look at the back of that car. And then back here, everything is dynamatted. So I'm gonna have some speakers over here, and then I don't want to cut those right there, those original 1957 door panels, so that's why I put the speakers right back here. And if you ask me, that looks pretty doggone good right there. So let me flip the camera around and then hope you enjoy this video. I'm gonna do a little bit of manufacture, a little bit of cutting, probably no welding, but I gotta figure out how to cleanly mount this with one of these faceplates in the 57 bug. All right, so look, probably a good idea, which I traditionally don't do, is actually open this thing up and look at the instructions. See, that's what it'll actually look like right there, or it could look like. And that's it right there. Although that doesn't tell me a whole lot of anything. Basic operations. I need something a little bit more than this. Hold on. Probably, there it is right there. Wait a minute, installation and assembly. There we go, that's a little bit better. So what's cool about that, you see these little pieces right here? Let me pull one of those out for you. again, this is probably, I don't know, the 10th of one of these things I've installed. What's nice about this is it doesn't make a difference where the holes are at for your volume control and your selector for your frequencies. It's all integrated in here. These look like little phone jacks. We call them RJ45s in the military for connecting. Check this out. Or actually RJ11s for phones. Watch this. When you push this, can you hear that click? That's just one of those, like when you select it, when you push it and you select it. So these things are modern, except they're going to look old school. You see, these are plastic ones, I admit that, but they actually sell these also that are in metal. But what I'm going to do here is, if you look at my little bag of stuff I've squirreled away over the last couple of months, I got these from a guy named Frankie. He is like the renowned Volkswagen expert over here. And what he gave me, literally gave these to me, these are the original knobs, not necessarily for the volume control, but that's like the push turn for the turn signals, or for the warning flasher, or for the windshield wiper, or for the choke. And what I want to do is I'm going to manufacture these things. These are threads in here. So I'm going to see how I can actually take these and mount them in here. I might just have to drill them out just a little bit and put these in here, but that's the goal, is to make this radio here not use these knobs, although I could use these knobs. They look perfectly fine, and I'm looking like, what if it looks like this right here? That might be acceptable too. But anyway, that's just what I call fabrication and just scratching your head and figuring out how stuff works. But look, what I've done here already is I've taken these screws right here and mounted them in here, and I'm getting ready to break out the manual here. Let's go back to this, because I just pulled these out right here out of the plastic bag, and I forgot where they go, but now I know that these are actually large plastic spacer ×2, and I've actually got these from other ones. So if I'm on the edge right here, see how I'm on the edge? If I put the spacer in here, right here, that's where it's supposed to go in the radio, then this right here will go a little bit back, and I might just throw a washer underneath it, just the mounting. Again, this has got so much flexibility built into it, it's amazing. You put it basically anywhere you want to. So that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. Is first of all, I got to select which one of these I want to use right now. All right, I don't know if you saw the light bulb go off above my head here, but I'm getting ready to take a stainless steel cutoff wheel. This is a stainless steel one, so it's only 1 millimeter thick right here, to literally try to modify this right here. So this piece of metal goes in right here. See that right there? And this piece of metal literally sits on the front right here. That's what the plan was. But the light bulb going off, I'm going like, I don't need this piece. This piece right here with the exact orientation with the thicker part on the top, look at there. That actually looks super fine, and I can polish that out a little bit to make it look shiny and chrome. If you take that back off right now, you can see right up here, this is actually the section that has the LED display on it, which you can make any color, by the way. But I think I have now figured that out. And that little spacer I was just talking about, piece of plastic, literally slides in right behind here, and then there's where your volume control goes. So I have to think whether that's what I'm going to do right now, but that actually looks pretty doggone good. And then I would manufacture these knobs right here. I would get these knobs to actually work, and I think that's the look I'm looking for right there. So let me think about that for just a second. All right, hey, before I go to the polish wheel, I just take a little bit of this 0000, the finest steel wool. That's not a description adjective, it's the grade of it. And you get in this little corner with your thumbnail right here, and get that little piece of chrome lip shining to a high degree of bling bling here. And again, that looks absolutely killer. Since I got it cleaned up, grab my radio. Oh yeah, that looks clean. It looks absolutely clean. And now it's just a matter of not fabricating anything. I love the way that thing looks, and that's what it's going to be. All right, hey, so I've test fitted this one, and literally, folks, I'm down to the millimeter on this one. This edge right here, I have to literally take about 1 millimeter off, because the dash starts coming around this way, And I want to move this right here up 1 millimeter so you see the bottom of the green of the dashboard here. I know that's like little, you know, what I call anal retentive, but let me do that right now. So taking off my cutting wheel here, which I didn't use, thankfully, and put on a fine one. This is a 60 grit. That's not necessarily fine, but let me see if I got a finer one up in here, because when you're 60, what's this one right here? That one is a 240. So that's what I'm looking for right here, because I don't want to, you know, hack into this thing. I want to take just a little sliver off of this thing. Put this one on here. Put this one on here. And then just hit it just a little bit on this corner right here. And I usually would put a black mark on here with a Sharpie, but I can literally see what I'm taking off right here. So give me a second here. Cut the light on. Now, if you didn't think I took any off, it's nice and warm right now, so I'm taking off just a little bit. Let me go check this fit real quick. All right, let me check my fit here real quick. That's where it's gonna go, right there. And you can see that lip up on the top there is where I'm just trying to curve it over there just a little bit. And that lip on the bottom right there is what I want to retain. I want to try to get it as high as possible without exposing that hack job that somebody did on the bottom. So this is literally what it's about, millimeters here, and I think I'm good right there. I might take just a little bit more off. Yeah, just one more millimeter off in the bottom, and right there, see how it won't go any higher right there? That's what I'm trying to fix right now. So before I mount the radio up in here, I'm just taking a little bit of Mother's aluminum polish. And man, look at that stuff, it shines. That's 66-year-old paint on this dashboard. And then when I said hack job earlier, whoever cut this out 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, I don't know, and put a radio up in here, they didn't do a super bad job. They just modified it to the radio that they had. Except now, I'm trying to put that retro sound in here, and I just got to modify it a little bit more to what's possible. And that's what I like about trying to figure it out, scratch your head, and then go like, you know what, this will actually work. And then what I'm doing right now is just cleaning this up before I actually mount the radio up in here. And then what's nice about these VWs, on the back side of this thing, I have full access to the back of it, so I ain't got to be worried about, you know, sitting upside down here. And then get the little brush in here and get that 66-year-old crud out of there. You can actually use paint thinner on this too, but I don't want to take the chance of that reacting and then screwing up that knob right there. All right, hey, look, I'm on the back side of the dashboard right now, and look, I'm not upside down and laying on my back right now. I'm just leaning in here. So look, there are my speakers from the back side, those Mac Audios. Those things sound really, really good. Again, I don't get endorsement or sponsorship from those folks. I'm just telling you that's a good product right now. If you get Mac Audio in the United States of America, they're really good, high-quality speakers, and they won't break the bank either. But look, what I wanted to show you here is Billy Bob Joe here had this right here. I guess this is before zip ties were invented, or the patent. So this was tied right here, holding those cables together. But look at this. Most of the stuff right back here is original. Again, I'm trying to put stuff back fairly original, but look at that right there. Look at that fuse block. That is the fuse block, ladies and gentlemen, for a 1957 Bug. I'm gonna spin that around because it's got a couple of things written on it. It's upside down, so I can't read it right now, but just check this out. I just love stuff like this. Again, I've converted this thing over to 12 volts, so some of this, wherever the blink relay is, and I'm sure that's it right there, I'm probably just gonna have to convert that over. And look, somebody actually put a 12 volt plug right over here, so unfortunately they drilled a hole right in the middle of the doggone dashboard, but that right there is my flasher assembly. And let me pan down here. I just saw this right here. That's a German version of Billy Bob Joe right here. So he's hooked onto the fender. This is the back of the fender for the front, one of the mounting bolts. Up here, 90 degree angle over here to the bottom of this antenna, and then there's the top of the antenna. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do that, but again, I guess it would be Hans Dieter instead of Billy Bob Joe over here. But look, let me get busy right now and go ahead and install the back side of this radio right here from RetroSound. All right, now, so that's the little connector that goes to the faceplate right here, the connector to the rest of the RetroSound, the amplifier and the actual guts of this thing. So make sure that's connected. Push this up in here, and it only goes on one way basically. There it is right now. And then you're gonna have this little bitty bag of screws right here. Super, super small. So, oh man, I can't even open the damn things on. So I'm just gonna rip that open. That's not a good idea either. Then put them screws right down here and go find myself. There they go right there, little bitty screws. And then come over here, got my little super duper small screwdriver kit here. And then that is a Phillips. And that's where they go, right up in here. Right. Guess I gotta find the right, there they go right there. So that holds that on there. Same thing on the bottom. Man, those things are small, but you know what? Proud of the fact that I'm 59 years old and I can still see that without a pair of glasses. All right, look, this thing is kind of assembled out here on the bench. It's almost like bench bleeding your master cylinder. I've bench bled the RetroSound radio in here. So this is exactly how it's gonna go in the car. Like here, check that out. And you see the washers? I don't know if you can see the I got my plastic spacer and then I got two washers. Now one of those washers will disappear just because I'm simulating the dashboard thickness in here. I mean, that's how detailed I'm trying to get on this thing. Again, this is what you'll see. This is what the knob actually looks like right here that they sell. This is a plastic one. They make them in metal too. It's just if you want to spend the extra $45. I sacrificed and went for plastic. There it is, and so you can hear the little click. That's actually a function in here. But look, what I want to show you is this what it looks like. I'm going to pull this back off. Hold on. It's kind of tough to get them back off of here. There we go. I'm going to use these knobs right here. Although I admit, I think these look a little bit bling-blingier. I'm going to put these old ones back on here. Got a little bit of wear because I just have to drill that hole out there and somehow get it to match up in here. That looks pretty cool too. And the reason I'm going to do that is just to match all the other knobs that are on the bottom of that 57 Bug right over here. So look, I'm ready to put this thing in here in a couple of seconds. All right, just adding a little bit of caution here. These little bitty sticky pieces of foam, I'm going to put them back about 1/8 of an inch right here. And there's my other one, 1/8 of an inch right there. And that's probably going to stop it from vibrating. You push these down really good and tight. There you go. And that way when I push this thing up in here, it's actually cushioning against that foam. Yeah, and they should get no vibration out of that. That's good right there, like that. All right, so these pieces are just a little bit too long, so I'm gonna hack them off right there. On the other side. That's perfect right there. Gotcha. All right, that sucker is in there right now. And see that nut right back there? You can just adjust that out a little bit. And then you come over here. And then you throw your 13mm on here. And you can adjust it left and right here. But I'm going to put a little honk on it here. Not much, just hand tight. And same thing with that one, look at that. And that looks professional. Look at that, I got a beautiful line. If I went up 1 millimeter right here, you'd see a gap in there. So that's about as fine as I can put it. It's centered. Absolutely, yeah, good deal. Let me go get something to eat now. All right, folks, about 2 hours later right now, pretty stoked the way this thing turned out right now. Absolutely love that hard install right now. Got the battery charger pushing at about 2.1 volts right here into this 12 volt battery. Again, the bug is still 6 volts right now from the generator, but the generator's not even hooked up right now, but got to charge that thing every now and then. But let me throw some lights on here. We got about 8 o'clock at night. Just got back from dinner, said that a couple seconds ago. But now the nice thing about this bug is I can work on the tail end of this from right here. Now I'm gonna get all this grime and crap off right now with a little bit of paint thinner, and then do the actual wire install for this thing right now from the back side, okay? So hold on. All right, a little paint thinner on this rag right here, and look how that thing turns out. Even got free patina on here without an additional charge, look at that. So clean all this crap up before I actually put the back mount on here, and Bob will be your uncle. This is what the back of this thing looks like right here. So that's the back of the RetroSound unit right here. They got this little warning right here. The warning basically just tells you to support the back of this radio unit because it might get kind of heavy or bouncing around when we hit a pothole. Watch this. So see that movement I can do right here? Not a whole lot. I think it's in there pretty doggone tight. But anyway, when you pull this thing off of here, little rubber plug comes out. You see the little screw hole right there? They want you basically to run a support from here down to here, from here up to here, but I'm going to run it down to here. I'm going to drill one little bitty hole right here to support the back of this unit right here. But let me show you some other stuff right here that comes with the RetroSound kit. This is, looks like some kind of, okay, this is for the speakers, left, front, left, rear, right front, right rear, whatever the combination. It's clearly labeled on right here, so that's one. This is the power right here. Obviously, red is going to be power, but it's switch power. The yellow goes to constant power, and it tells you right here constant power. So if in this back of the unit I actually have an accessory, which I don't think I have an accessory on the switch, and if you don't have an accessory, you tie these two wires together right here. That basically when you have to cut the radio off and on manually, and it doesn't go through the ignition switch, okay? Just keep that in mind. Blue or blue with a stripe is probably illumination, and the blue right here is probably to trigger a subwoofer unit someplace or a sub amplifier. And then obviously black is always ground. Probably doesn't make a difference what planet you're on right now or what state or country you're in, unless you're on Mars or Venus. I don't know what they use for ground in those on those planets. What else we got here? This is actually the master harness right here. This is the one right here that's got the fuse on it. Little, what is that, about a 5 amp fuse? I'm not quite sure, but it's a small fuse. And this little bitty connector right here snaps in right here with a little bit of click. You heard it go click. And then this right here snaps onto the back. You have one that goes to the top, and you have one that goes to the bottom right here like that. And then you run all your connections on here, going to your speakers and so forth. So what's nice about here is I'm going to do all this back here where I can actually get to it, and then cinch it up, test it first, and then zip tie this stuff and just lay it right up here on top of this thing once I put this connector down here. And then what else they come with the kit? They gave you this little thing right here. Hold on. This right here is actually your hands-free microphone. So when you get an incoming call, you push a button on your radio and you can talk with both hands on the steering wheel, which is a law in most states and most countries as far as I'm concerned. So I'll hook this up as well. But all right, here's that support I was talking about. Right down here, real simple. Grab this right here, put that at a 90-degree angle, probably right there, and then just twist. Get myself that angle going on. Push this back down in here. Yep, right there. I'm gonna put a different angle on it right here, and that's basically gonna support the back of that radio right there. Real simple stuff, not rocket scientist stuff here. All right, check this out. So here's my little test lamp, And I'm just looking for 12 volts back in here. I don't think I have a switched one. Matter of fact, I know I don't have a switched one, but check this out. This is just a 12 volt tester right here. And obviously the light goes on right here. And then the light goes on over here, obviously. So that fuse is good. But look, lo and behold, if you read right up in here, that first fuse, it says the word radio on it. So what's cool about that is I just got to pull the fuse out to check. Wait a minute. Oh man, that thing is in there tough. It ain't been out of there in a while. I just want to make sure that which side of the system is actually the fuse on. Hold on, it goes this way. There it goes. So I finally got it out of there. But check this out. Now what you do is if there's 12 volts here, which there's not, and there's 12 volts over here, that tells you, and now you can actually read the word radio in here. So now you know that the fuse portion is on this side right here. If you look right here, somebody, I don't know who this was, did the retrofit for the turn signal flashers right here. This is the 4-way warning flashers right here, which was a law like in 1978 or something. You had to have all cars with flashers, warning flashes on it. So they spliced in right here, but I'm also going to take my power from here and follow this cable right here and go to the radio. The radio wire should be around here someplace, and that's what's going to feed the back of this RetroSound radio right here. All right, folks, look, I solder everything right now because it just helps out a lot as far as connectivity and making sure you don't have any electrical issues when you're going down the road. So check this out. This is the ground here. I take that, I spin it around exactly on itself. I got my heat shrink already pushed on here. Then I take this terminal, and this is actually a solderless terminal, but I always make them solder terminals. So I push this down right here with a pair of vice grips. Right there, just clamp it a little bit. All you need to do, you don't need to press the crap out of it. Now what I always do, I'll make sure that I don't have any of the wire going around the corner right here, because that'll tell the screw that it can't go down on there. So there it is right there. Now, for my next magic trick, I'm gonna take a little bit of the solder right here. I put it in my mouth. I grab the soldering iron, and then I put a little bit of solder right on here. Hold on a second, folks, see if this works. Right there first. All right, now here, and then right on there. So that's if you don't have 3 hands. Like I don't have 3 hands, but you can put that in your mouth for just a couple of seconds. I don't know what the long-term health effects are, but we'll figure it out. Now I slide up my little heat shrink, push it up on here, about right there like that. Now, do you have to have heat shrink on the end of this terminal? No, but man, it makes it look all spiffy and everything. So let me put this down for the ground right now. I'm gonna put this on the mounting bracket. And then if you notice right here too, this is constant, the yellow, which is constant battery, so you don't lose your clock and all the settings you have inside of your RetroSound radio. The red is switched, but if you join these two together, that means you don't have an accessory switch, which I don't have on that 57 Bug because they just didn't have that technology, they just didn't have that capability back then. So basically when you turn the ignition off, you also gotta remember to turn your radio off. It's as simple as that. So let me go install this real quick. Hey folks, look, it's after 10 o'clock at night here on a Sunday, so I've got to get my butt upstairs and pack a suitcase because I've got a little conference I've got to drive to tomorrow and be there an entire week. So this is what the back of this thing looks like. Again, this should be about a 20-minute video. Hopefully I haven't edited it yet, but everything is soldered back here. And if you look down here, there's my little grounding strap that comes over here to this wiring harness. I kind of everything zip tied up in here right now, but if you can look back here, those RetroSound stereo systems, that's for your RCAs back here. If you ever want to put an amplifier in here, I still have to hook up my hands-free microphone. That's what this connector is for. But long story short, I'm not going to use all that. I want it basically for the hands-free and the Bluetooth capability that this RetroSound unit comes with. They're great. I don't get endorsed or paid for or advertised for RetroSound. I've just been using these guys' products probably for the last 10 to 15 years, and they actually upgrade their stuff. So obviously MP3 Bluetooth capability and all that good stuff. This one here is for a 1957 Bug. All these right here are all spares. I'm not going to use them. You saw the model that I actually went with right here. So let me go in here and just show you a couple of cool features on this thing. Now look, I'm going to take my fingernail and reach up in here. Inside of here, I've got that Bluetooth line running up in here, not Bluetooth, but the USB. So there's 2,000 of Roger's favorite songs. Those ones when I was a GI over here, I think I had a collection of like 200 to 300 CDs because that was the way digital music was going to go later, of obviously MP3 and Spotify and all the streaming apps they have out there. But look, let me close this off, put this down right here, and then grab my phone. And again, YouTube is pretty particular and AI catches all the streaming audio. So I'm going to give you an example of this for just a second. So I have it on pause right now. If I hit a little Larry Freet right here, Working Man, crystal clear, hit the next song. I'm 40 years old. And then again, I'm just going through this purely for the purpose of demonstrating for you guys. Little Johnny Cash. Little Zombies. But anyway, let me cut this thing off right now. But this unit is super cool. It looks period correct in here. They don't sell you this aluminum piece back here, the stainless. I got that from the flea market. So that's up to you how you mount this thing in here, but it's sturdy in here. It looks decent. These are actually plastic knobs. There's your volume control right here. And then you can hit your mute button over here. And then if you push this thing for, I think 2 seconds, 1, 2, you go goodbye. And you can change the color in here. So I got it just set for green, the same green that's up in here. Actually, there's a different hue of it. But look, that's basically it. So I know I've been talking a long time. This is a one subject part 3 video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you do, if you learned something, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share. And that's basically it. Let me get my butt upstairs and pack my suitcase. So I got to get out of here early tomorrow morning. So thanks for watching. I really, really appreciate it from Roger's Hot Rod Garage.